There was a country. I am a priest and a healer. Listen, in May 2022, Nigeria was shaken by a tragic event that sparked national outrage, global attention, and deep conversations about faith, tolerance, freedom of expression, and the value of human life. This is the true life story of Deborah Samuel Yakubu, a young woman whose life was brutally cut short in the name of blasphemy. Who was Deborah Yakubu? Deborah Yakubu, also known as Deborah Samuel, was a 22-year-old student at Shehu Shagari College of Education in Sokoto State, Nigeria. She was a Christian, a student teacher in training, and by many accounts, a cheerful, outspoken young woman who believed strongly in her faith. Friends described Deborah as someone who loved God deeply and was not shy about expressing her beliefs, especially on social media platforms and school discussion groups. But in a country where religion is deeply sensitive, especially in some northern states, governed partly by Sharia law, expressing one's faith publicly can sometimes carry deadly consequences. What happened before her death? In early May 2022, Deborah was part of a WhatsApp group created for her class. The group was meant for sharing academic information, lectures, assignments, and school notices. At some point, Deborah sent a voice note to the group. In that message, she criticized what she believed was the misuse of the group for religious preaching, and praised Jesus Christ for helping her pass her exams. Some members of the group, mostly Muslim students, found her message offensive. They accused her of blasphemy against Prophet Muhammad. Arguments quickly escalated. Insults were exchanged. Threats were made. Deborah reportedly apologized and deleted the message. But by then, the situation had already spiraled out of control. The day of the attack. On May 12, 2022, Deborah went to school as usual. She had no idea that her life was in danger. A group of students began searching for her on campus. When they found her, an argument broke out again, this time face to face. What happened next was horrifying. Deborah was beaten, stoned, and set on fire by a mob of fellow students. Some recorded videos, some cheered, some did nothing. She was dragged into an open area, assaulted mercilessly, and burnt alive, all in broad daylight, inside a school environment that should have been a place of safety and learning. Deborah died there, alone, surrounded by hatred. The videos that shocked the world. Videos of the lynching circulated widely on social media. In the footage, voices could be heard shouting religious slogans. Some people claimed they were defending their faith. Others celebrated the killing. For many Nigerians and people around the world, the videos were deeply disturbing. The question on everyone's lips was simple. How could students murder another student over words? National and international reactions. The murder of Deborah Yakubu sparked outrage across Nigeria and beyond. Human rights organizations condemned the act. Christian groups mourned her death. Muslim leaders, both in Nigeria and internationally, also spoke out, stating clearly that Islam does not permit mob justice or murder. The Nigerian government promised an investigation. The Sokoto state governor described the killing as unfortunate and imposed a curfew to prevent further violence. Protests broke out in some parts of the country, both for and against justice for Deborah, highlighting the deep religious and cultural divisions within Nigeria. Arrests and controversy. 2 suspects were initially arrested and charged in connection with Deborah's murder. However, Protests erupted, demanding their release. Some groups claimed the suspects were heroes. Others insisted justice must be served. The legal process became complicated, slow, and controversial, leaving many Nigerians feeling that true justice might never be achieved. As time passed, public attention faded, but the pain remained, especially for Deborah's family. Deborah's family and their pain. Deborah Yakubu's family was left devastated. They lost a daughter, a sister, a dream. Her parents spoke of their pain, their shock, and their grief. They asked a simple question: why was our daughter killed instead of corrected or reported to authorities? To this day, her family continues to live with the trauma of knowing that Deborah died in one of the most violent ways imaginable. What Deborah's death represents. Deborah Yakubu's story is not just about religion. It is about mob justice, religious intolerance, failure of institutions, dehumanization, the dangerous power of crowds. It raises uncomfortable questions. Can words justify murder? Who decides what is blasphemy? Why do mobs feel empowered to kill? Where was security? Where was compassion? A call for reflection. Deborah's death serves as a painful reminder that human life must come first, always. Disagreements, even religious ones, should never end in violence. No belief system should be used as an excuse to kill. No society can progress when mobs replace law and reason. Let me say this finally. Deborah Yakubu was only 22 years old. She had dreams. She had a future. She had a voice. That voice was silenced, not by law, not by dialogue, but by fire and hatred. As we remember Deborah, the challenge before us is clear. Choose tolerance over violence. Choose dialogue over mobs. Choose humanity over extremism. May her story never be forgotten. Comment and subscribe now.